Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in. It is Game 8 of the 2024 Rocky Mountain League season. Game 5 in league play for your Dodge City A's. They come into tonight 1-3 overall in league play after having beat the Hayes Larks 2 nights ago in Hayes, America. Take a look at our starting lineups. We'll get started with the visiting Western Nebraska Pioneers. Leading off number 22, it is a designated hitter, Kieran Gaffney. Batting second, the right fielder, number 17, Francisco Laya. Batting third, the left fielder, number 35, Ethan Mosser. Batting fourth, the first baseman, number 40, Aiden Young. Batting fifth, the third baseman, number 26, Bryce Peterson. Batting sixth, catcher, number 8, Jake Maroney. Batting seventh, the shortstop, number 37, Ronan Hella. Batting eighth, the second baseman, number 5, E.J. Barnes, and running at the lineup, center fielder, number 2, Coy Carpenter. Paul Penduro getting the start on the mound tonight for the Pioneers. We'll take a look at our starting lineups for the Dodge City A's. Leading off the number 33, center fielder, Nyan Hayes. Batting second, number 17, Grant Weisermans in left field. Batting third, the third baseman, number 17, Nate Murphy. Batting fourth, Carson Johnson at second base. Batting fifth, the catcher, number 16, Isaiah Velasco. Batting sixth, right field, number 2, Remington Miller. Batting seventh, the first baseman, number 12, Jake Vassell. A lead-off hit as we are underway. It is a lead-off hit for Kieran Gaffney, a solo shot out into right center field. So finishing the lineup, batting 8th, the designated hitter, number 30, Bo Dalian. Batting 9th, the shortstop, number 9, Zach Mora. Rounding, and it is number 34, Steven Trinidad, getting the start on the mound tonight for your Dodge City A's. Francisco Laya at the plate for the Pioneers as we are set to go. And that one missing outside for ball number 1. One on and nobody out so far tonight for the Pioneers. That pitch. This is outside for ball number 1. Two and 1, the count on Francisco Laya, the right fielder tonight for the Pioneers. Clouds filtering in from the west for tonight's contest. That pitch misses inside, and the count moves to 3 and 1. The A's tonight with their white pants, yellow tops, green numerals outlined in white, and green caps. The Pioneers counter with gray pants with a white and blue stripe down the legs, black tops, blue letters and numerals outlined in white. A logo on their left sleeve as well. So that pitch was fouled off and the count runs full. The payoff pitch from Trinidad. Runner goes, grounded to the shortstop. They'll go to first for the out. In steps Ethan Mooser. And that pitch is fouled off. Down in the count, 0-1. So the A's are at home for 2 games against these Pioneers. The 0-1 pitch coming from Trinidad. Runner goes, a throw to third, rolls out into center field. So a stolen base and then an E2 will score the run. That leadoff hit comes around to score, and the Pioneers take an early 1-0 lead. Ethan Moser at the plate, a 1-1 count on him as that one's in and low and bounces away, and the count moves to 2-1. Steven Trinidad on the mound tonight for your Dodge City A's. Trinidad looks in, has his sign working from the first base side of the rubber. Delivers the 2-1 pitch. It's swung on and missed. Coming up empty is Moser, and down an evens account at 2 apiece. That pitch missing low, and the count runs full. Another payoff pitch coming here as Trinidad has his sign and come set. Wind's blowing out of the south. That pitch is a swing and a miss, and coming up empty is Moser as he'll go down on strikes. 2 away for the Pioneers. Steven Trinidad last pitched for the Dodge City A's, went an inning and a third back on June the 5th. Got the start in the game against the Hayes Larks in that non-league contest. Went an inning and a third, allowing 5 hits, 5 runs, walked 2, and allowed 1 home run as well. A 2-0 count now on Aiden Young. Young, the first baseman for the Pioneers. Defensive alignment for your Dodge City A's. Left to right in the outfield, it is Grant Weisermans, Nyan Hayes, and Remington Miller. As that one's chopped high on the infield. The throw from the third baseman to first, not quite in time. It was a high chopper and a deep hit that will be an infield single. So that'll put a runner on, and in steps the third baseman, Bryce Peterson. Two out and 1 on for Peterson as Trinidad takes a look over at first, has his sign and come set. He'll deliver low. It'll scoot away, but not allowing advancement from Aiden Young, and it will be ball number 1. The 1-0 pitch misses low again, and the count runs to 2-0. So Isaiah Velasco goes out and has a quick word with his pitcher Trinidad. The defensive alignment for your A's along the infield from third to first, Nate Murphy, Zach Mora, Carson Johnson, and Jake Vassell. Steven Trinidad on the mound, Isaiah Velasco, the battery behind home plate. We'll go back to work with a 2-0 pitch as that one misses outside for ball number 3. The A's trying to get out of the top of the first with just the 1-run damage. Looking to try to get their bats to work. It was the score early and score often approach that got the A's the 7-1 win back on Tuesday night against the Larks, as Peterson will draw the 4-pitch walk. In steps Jake Maroney. Maroney, the 6-hole hitter tonight for the Pioneers, who come from Gering, Nebraska, making the long trip from the Scottsbluff area down here to Dodge City. 2 games here in Dodge, and then another 2 on Sunday and Monday night against the Liberal BJs coming up for the Pioneers. First pitch right down the pike for Maroney for strike number 1. One of the Pio's staff members evidently sitting in the stands showing velocity. Looks like about 88 for Trinidad. That pitch framed but called a ball nonetheless, and that will even the count at 1 apiece. Trinidad works from the first base side of the rubber, working with his right foot on. Has his sign and come set. Takes a long look back at second, and that pitch delivered farther outside for ball 2. 2-1 the count, with 2 out and 2 on for the Pioneers. Another long look back at second. Trinidad turns around and makes the throw, but in safely is Aiden Young. Two-one delivery coming as that pitch is fouled back into the netting, and the count evens itself at 2 apiece. Two delivery. Pitch is foul tipped, and that will end the inning as Maroney goes down on strikes, and that will send us to the bottom of the first. It will be Nyan Hayes, Grant Weisermans, and Nate Murphy due up when we return. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Welcome back in to Cavalier Field. Justin Herger alongside for this one as Nyan Hayes steps in to face Paul Panduro of the Western Nebraska Pioneers. At pitch in for strike number one to Nyan Hayes. Called strike two. Hayes quickly down in the count 0-2. 0-2 delivery from Panduro, misses well outside, and the count runs to 1-2. The A's come into tonight's contest. They are 2-5. Hayes will go down swinging for out number one, and one away for the Dodge City A's. In steps Grant Weisermans. Weiserman takes first pitch high and inside for ball number one. 2-0 the count to Grant. Grant takes that one. It's a high fly ball. It's headed to left field. The left fielder tracking it, Ethan Moser, and it is over the wall and gone. And like that, the A's have tied this one at one apiece. The solo shot next to the scoreboard here at Cavalier Field, and Grant Weisermans draws first blood for your Dodge City A's. In steps Nate Murphy. They say he goes around, and that will be strike number one. Knotted at one apiece here in the early inning of this ball game. Just in the top of the first, or bottom of the first rather, here in this one. Pitch is fouled off, and the count moves to 1-2. Two and two, the count to Nate Murphy after the solo shot from Grant Weisermans. His third of the year. A swing and miss. It'll be a drop strike three, and they will throw down to first to complete the out. And that is out number two. In steps Carson Johnson. The A's looking for their second win in Rocky Mountain play. As that pitch misses inside for ball number one. Two and 0 the count to Carson Johnson for your Dodge City A's as Paul Panduro working quickly on the mound. A high chopper fielded by the shortstop Hella. Throw to first is errant. Gets past the first baseman Aiden Young, and that will put Johnson on at second with the error. So in steps Isaiah Velasco, the catcher tonight for your Dodge City A's.
Next up for the A's, the catcher number 16, Isaiah Velasco.
Enduro takes a long look back at second and check swing, a ball delivered to Velasco. An error apiece for each team now. It was the error by Mr. Velasco that scored the run for the Pioneers in the top of the first. At pitch, misses outside. Rather, check that. Called strike on the outer edge. Evens a count at 1 apiece. There is a person down in the bullpen for the Pioneers, as that pitch is grounded to the second baseman Barnes, throw to first in time, and that will end the inning as the A's strand 1. We are tied at 1 apiece as we head to the top of the second. Hella, Barnes, and Carpenter due up when we return for the Pioneers. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Ronan Hella set to lead off here in the top of the second, a 1-1 ball game as Steven Trinidad returns to the mound for the Dodge City A's, and that pitch, a high fly ball that bounces just ahead of the warning track, and it'll be an extra bases hit. Hella's digging for third. The throw not in time. It's wide to the outfield side, and a leadoff triple. In steps E.J. Barnes. He'll take the first pitch he sees. It's out inside for ball number 1. In a 1-1 ball game with nobody out, a runner already on third for the Pioneers. Barnesy, right-handed hitter for the Pioneers, takes that one over the inner part of the zone for strike 1. 1-1 the count to Barnes. That pitch misses outside and low for ball number 2. Other games in action today, the Denver Cougars at the Game Day Angels. That that game should have just gotten started out in Colorado. And the Liberal BJs at the Fort Collins Foxes as that pitch chopped just past the outstretched hands of Nate Murphy, and that will score another run as an RBI single for E.J. Barnes. In steps Coy Carpenter. Carpenter, the center fielder tonight for the Pioneers.
At the plate, center fielder number 2.
The Colorado Rough Riders and Hayes Larks in action tonight as well. That one in Hayes, America. Pioneers lead this one 2-1 after back-to-back leadoff hits have put the Pioneers in the driver's seat right now. That one inside bounces away from Velasco. He'll not get the throw down to second as the wild pitch will move E.J. Barnes over to second base. Crowd starting to fill in a little bit here at Cavalier Field. Good night for some Friday night baseball. Trinidad turns around and looks Barnes back to second. Another wild pitch as that will move Barnes over to third. 2-0 the count on Coy Carpenter. Nobody out and a runner now on third for the Pioneers. 2-0 count to Carpenter. The A's desperately looking for an out as that pitch is fouled off. It'll go out of play to the third base side. So the A's desperately need to try to find an out. Otherwise, this one could start to get away from them. 2-1 delivery comes over the inner part of the plate and called strike. Evens a count at 2 apiece to Carpenter. Pitch, a fly out to left field, and they will say it was caught, and that will be out number 1. Grant Weiserman's making the diving catch on that one, able to hold a run off. And that will turn the lineup over to Kieran Gaffney, the designated hitter. He led off the top of the first with a single. Gaffney set to face Trinidad for the second time as that pitch high and over his head. And Isaiah Velasco popping up quickly to catch that one and save a run. 1 on, 1 out for the Pioneers, a 1-0 count to Gaffney. No work in either bullpen right now. That one again high, but says it will catch a wrinkle in the jersey of Gaffney, and that will put runners on the corners. So we're going to have a mound visit, and this one will bring the entire infield, minus Nate Murphy, in for a visit. Pitching coach Chris Isaac out to assist with this mound visit, as well as currently have runners on the corners for the A's, or rather for the Pioneers. That mound visit is breaking up. The Pioneers so far 2 runs on 4 hits, 1 error. The A's with 1 run, 1 hit, and 1 error as well. So as we go back to work with 1 out, runners on the corners, Francisco Laya steps in. He is the right fielder and grounded out for out number 1 back in the first inning. Pitch misses outside, and that will be ball number 1. Want to know the count to Laya. That one comes inside and moves the count to 2-0. Throw over to first. Picked by Vassell, but nothing happening there. Just to check on the runner, Kieran Gaffney. We'll go back to work. That pitch misses outside. 3-0 the count on Laya. A walk here will load the bases. Trinidad has his sign and come set. Delivers a 3-0 pitch. It misses outside, and that will be the 4-pitch walk. And in steps Ethan Mosser. So with bases loaded and 1 away, Mosser steps in. He went down swinging his last time up. 1 run has scored already in this inning, and the bases loaded. Pitch in for strike number 1. Mosser not liking that one. Trinidad delivers. That one's fouled off. It goes into the netting. Down in the count, 0-2. Moser. Winds fairly calm by Western Kansas standards here this evening. The 0-2 delivery misses high, and the count moves to 1-2. We've seen the A's turn double plays this season, and a double play would be just what the doctor ordered. Here is that pitch thrown down to third, a snap throw by Velasco. The pitch was called a ball, and count evens itself at 2 apiece. Velasco just almost had E.J. Barnes picked off. 2-2 delivery coming from Steven Trinidad. Fires in, it's low, gets away from Velasco, and that will score a run. Wild pitch scores another run, and the Pioneers lead this one 3-1. And there is work starting in the bullpen. I believe Matthew Chavez will be the first player out of the bullpen for your Dodge City A's. In steps, Ethan Moser still at the plate, a full count. The payoff pitch was fouled off, and will do the payoff over again. Three and two the count. A few baseballs will be delivered to the home plate umpire. Clouds thickening to the west here at Cavalier Field, but still a great night for baseball. Payoff pitch coming again as Trinidad comes set. Has what he wants. Delivers inside and low, and that will load the bases again. One away with bases loaded. 2 runs in so far this inning for the Pioneers. In steps Aiden Young. Young singled. A high chopper on the infield that was hard to get to. And we will go to work now. Ball gets away from Velasco, but not advancing, as didn't have a good read was Gaffney. Steven Trinidad struggling a little bit with control. Isaiah Velasco working behind the plate tonight for your Dodge City A's. One 0 delivery coming. It is lined out into right center field, gets down in the grass. 1 run scores. Here comes the second, and it will score as well as Francisco Laya trots in. Runners at first and second now for the Pioneers. 4 runs in so far this inning as the Pioneers lead it 5-1. Here comes head coach Dakota Young, so a pitching change coming here. It will be Matthew Chavez as the night for Steven Trinidad will come to an end. He will go an inning and a third again. So Matthew Chavez will take over the mound after this. We'll come back with the next at bat of Bryce Peterson. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Matthew Chavez takes over the mound for the Dodge City A's, and a 2-0 count now to Bryce Peterson. And that pitch gets down in center field. It is a liner that gets down in shallow center field right in front of Nyan Hayes. Played off the hops, and that single will load the bases yet again. Third time this inning, the Pioneers have loaded the bases. They lead this ball game 5-1. And in steps Jake Maroney. Maroney was out on a foul tip, third strike, his last time up. So with this at bat, the Pioneers have batted around in this inning. The first pitch, a curveball left high for ball one. Matthew Chavez comes into today having pitched 2 innings, allowing 2 runs, an ERA of 1. Sorry, an ERA of 4.5 rather. That pitch is fouled off, and count moves to 2-1. One pitch delivered low to Maroney, and the count is now 3-1. The A's desperately need outs as they can't let this ball game get out of control right now. That one, a strike called on the other edge, and Maroney shaking his head goes, yep, that was a strike. I knew it. Payoff pitch coming from Chavez, working from the first base side, fouled back into the netting, and the count remains full. So we will go back to work. Chavez with that slide step across the rubber. That pitch misses a little bit high, and a walk drawn by Maroney, and that will walk another run in as the Pioneers now lead 6-1. In steps Ronan Hella, who led off this inning with the big triple. Courtesy runner for Maroney. Carson Bevel, the runner for the Pioneers. That pitch is popped up. Vassell gave chase, pulled it down in foul territory right in front of the first base dugout, and a much needed out number 2. Bases remain loaded. In steps E.J. Barnes. Barnes hit a single and would come around and score earlier in this inning as well. The Pioneers have batted around. That pitch low, blocked by Isaiah Velasco, and rolls up the line in front of him. No advancement allowed of the runners, and count is 1-0. 1-0 delivery. Inside and held by Velasco. The count moves to 2-0. E.J. Barnes draws a walk, and Velasco goes out to have a quick conversation with Matthew Chavez as another player down in the bullpen for your Dodge City A's. In steps Coy Carpenter. Carpenter flew out his last time up. 2 out in the inning, 6 runs in as the Pioneers lead 7-1. That pitch, a line drive right back at the second baseman, Carson Johnson. He'll gather it in, and that will end the inning as the Pioneers leave them loaded. It will be Miller, Vassell, and Dalian due up when we return. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Remington Miller leads off on a 1-0 pitch, sends it out into left field, and off the wall, an error by the left fielder Moser. And now a 3-0 count on Jake Vassell. Runner just 90 feet away for your Dodge City A's. Desperately trying to cut into this 7-1 deficit. A pitch called strike over the outer part. 3-1, the count to Vassell. Paul Penduro had a long break. That pitch Called strike as well, and the count runs full. We'll see the payoff pitch coming from Panduro. He's looking in, has his sign and come set. Delivers, it is chopped foul, and payoff pitch did not feel good to the catcher Maroney. Paul Panduro, the 6-footer from Pittsburgh State University, originally comes from Scottsbluff, Nebraska. Finished his junior season at Pittsburgh State this last year. Another payoff pitch coming here. Panduro has what he wants and comes set. Swung on and missed. Vassell comes up empty. He'll go down on strikes. One away for the A's. In steps the designated hitter tonight, Bo Dalian. Talk about the defensive alignment for the Pioneers. From left to right in the outfield, it is Moser, Carpenter, and Laya. Across the infield from third to first, Peterson, Hella, Barnes, and Young. That pitch grounded back up off the mound. Fielded by the shortstop, throw to first in time. It will score the run. The RBI ground out for Bo Dalian. The A's on the board for the second inning in a row. Trail this one 7-2. In steps Zach Mora. Mora, the 9-hole hitter, shortstop tonight for your Dodge City A's. So we go to work here. Pitch well above the head of Zach Moore. Gets back to the backstop for ball number 1. The 1-0 delivery as Panduro kicks and fires a high fly ball. It's headed to left field as well. Just ahead of the warning track, it bounced off the wall, and Mora in easily with a stand-up double. Two runs on 2 hits and an error for the A's. 7 runs on 6 hits and 2 errors for the Pioneers. In step Ryan Hayes as we turn the lineup over for the A's. Hayes went down swinging his first time up. Chops that one back up the middle, fielded by the second baseman. And the throw to first in time as Young able to keep his foot on the bag, and that will end the inning. We're headed to the top of the third. The A's trail 7-2. Kieran Gaffney steps in to face Matthew Chavez out for his second inning of work for the Dodge City A's as a nasty, nasty slider catches the outer edge of the zone for strike number 1. That one a fly ball. It will head into foul territory and drops foul. A strike nonetheless, and down in the count 0-2 is Gaffney. Back at the top of the order for the Pioneers, Gaffney, the designated hitter tonight, 1 for 1 so far, a single, and was hit by pitch. Kieran Gaffney, the 5'6", 190-pounder from Cochise Community College, comes from Broomfield, Colorado. 0-2 delivery from Chavez as that one's delivered outside in the opposite batter's box. Count moves to 1-2. There are a few storms developing to our west. We'll keep an eye on that one as that could have an impact on the later parts of this ball game. Pitch misses out as well, and the count evens itself at 2 apiece. A's and Pioneers as that one's outside again, and the count has run full to Gaffney. Payoff pitch coming from Chavez. Little tap step on the rubber that swung on and missed. And he'll go down on strikes for out number 1. In steps Francisco Laya. Laya's 0 for 1, walked on his last time up. Francisco Laya, also from Cochise Community College. He's 6'1", 185-pounder. Played his sophomore season, comes from Venezuela. As that pitch, called ball on the inner part. Chopper to, or rather a line drive. I thought it hit the turf, but it was a line drive right back at Nate Murphy for out number 2. In steps Ethan Mooser. Sorry for butchering that one. So Ethan Mooser like the animal moose, from northern Colorado, 6'3", 200 pounds, comes from Ontario, Canada. 1-0 count to him. He walked on his last time up. That pitch, it's Mooser taking a shuffle step backwards. 2-1. Three and 1 the count now to Mooser. He'll draw the walk, and in steps Aiden Young. Garrett Martin down in the bullpen for the Dodge City A's. 1 on, 2 away for the Pioneers. Chavez takes a look back at first, and that pitch right down the middle has Young down 0-1. He is 2 for 2, has singled both times he's been at the plate. Aiden Young, 6'2", 240 from Amarillo College. Originally comes from Albuquerque, New Mexico, as that pitch taken for strike 2 Young down 0-2 in the count. The A's desperately need to hang a 0 right now as that pitch high and a well-placed laser up the middle has Mooser out by a couple of steps. So that will end the inning as Mooser is caught stealing. We're headed to the bottom of the third. It will be Weiserman's, Murphy, and Johnson due up when we return. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Grant Weiserman set to lead off for your Dodge City A's as making our second trip through the batting order. He's out to face Paul Penduro for the second time. Weiserman with the home run over the left field wall grounds that one to the shortstop Hella. The throw to first in time and quickly one away. So in steps Nate Murphy. He struck out a drop strike 3 his last time up. Pitch comes inside, and it's a 1-0 count to Murphy. Grounded to the third baseman, Peterson. He'll twirl around and throw over to first in time for out number 2. In steps Carson Johnson, the second baseman. He got on an error his last time up. Played on Tuesday night against the Larks. Scored a run and had 2 hits in that ball game. First pitch into him on the inner half for strike number 1. One and two, the count to Carson Johnson. Johnson played his junior season at UT Permian Basin, comes from Carl Junction, Missouri. They'll foul that one off. It's headed out of play to our right, and that will fall in the field past the clubhouse. One-two pitch, a high fly ball. It's up the third base side and twisting into foul territory and falls down. Count remains at 1-2. The A's starting to get a little bit excited. They'll get to use the clubhouse starting up here soon. There's a few minor repairs being made to get it ready for the season. They will share it. It is home to the Conquistadors during the school year. The A's will get to use it over the summer now. 1-2 pitch misses high and inside for ball two. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away for the Dodge City A's. So we've worked our way into the bottom of the third, a 7-2 ball game in favor of the Pioneers. A pitch framed on the inside, and the count runs full. Johnson takes a step out of the box, big deep breath, and he'll step back in. Panduro getting his sign and come set. Payoff pitch delivered inside, and Johnson will draw the walk. A 2-out walk, but the A's will take base runners in whatever way, shape, or form they can get them at this point. In steps Isaiah Velasco. He grounded out his last time up. Velasco played his junior season at Cal Berkeley, comes from Sylmar, California. You can hear A's superfan Leo giving instructions from the stand up here. 1-0 count to Velasco. That pitch framed on the outer edge by Maroney. Called strike and evens a count at 1 apiece. One delivery. Again, framed on that outer side and called strike. Count falls to 1-2 on Velasco. Two and two, the count. Deuces wild across the top of the scoreboard. Panduro delivers. It's outside that same attempted frame call, and the count runs full. Panduro looks in, cocks his head to the side a little bit, has what he wants, and comes set. That one grounded right back at the pitcher, Panduro. He'll trot down to first, make the throw, and that will end the inning on the 1-3 ground out. We're headed to the top of the fourth. It will be Young, Peterson, and Maroney due up when we return. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Aiden Young set to lead off as he's back in to face Matthew Chavez. Of course, Young 2 for 2 was at the plate when Mooser was caught stealing. Swung on and missed, did Young. That pitch missing off the outer edge, and the count evens itself at 1 apiece. Coming to the inside part now and missing is Chavez, and count now 2-1. Aiden Young, a big healthy swing on that one, comes up empty. He'll even the count at 2 apiece. 2-2 delivery, just missing off the inner part, and the count runs full. The A's with 2 home games here will take off for Denver on Sunday as pitch was called foul. And Young will come up empty on that one. He'll go down swinging for a much-needed out number 1. Bryce Peterson walking in to the plate now, the third baseman for the Pios. 1 for 1, singled the last time he was at the plate. Peterson, 6'1", 200 pounds from Western Nebraska Community College, played his sophomore season, comes from Brighton, Colorado. The pitch missing for ball 1. That one's sent down the right side, and Jake calling for it, but Carson Johnson coming in behind it takes it for out number 2. So in steps the catcher Maroney. Maroney walked on his last time up. 5'10", 180, played at San Jose State. A sophomore, comes from Frisco, Texas. Takes first pitch he sees for ball 1. Maroney 0 for 1 in this ball game. The Pioneers lead this one 7-2. So we've worked our way into the top of the 4th. 2 away for the Pios as there's that curveball catching the inner part of the zone, and that will even the count at 1 apiece. One delivery, chopped foul. Maroney down in the count, 1-2. A's looking to get out of this one and try to get back to work as the Pioneers scored 1 in the first, 6 in the second. For the 7 runs, the A's with 1 in the first and 1 in the second for their 2 runs, as that one's hit foul to the third base coaching box, and count remains 1-2. Curveball again, missing on the outside edge. Maroney saying, yeah, that one's off. I know it. Deuces wild across the scoreboard. One's grounded up the middle. Throw by Mora and fired over to first in time to get Maroney, and that will end the inning as the Pios go down 1-2-3. We're headed to the bottom of the 4th. It will be Miller, Vassal, and Dalian due up. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Remington Miller set to lead off here in the bottom of the fourth. A chopper to the shortstop, Hella. Throw to first in time for out number one. Of course, Miller, the Barton County commit, just finished his senior season here at Dodge City High School. So out number one, and in steps Jake Vassell. Vassel's 0 for 1. Went down swinging his first time up. Pitch called a strike. Vassell down in the count, 0-1. Jake Vassell played for Lake Erie. Finished his sophomore campaign. Comes from Bainbridge, Ohio. 1-1 the count. Panduro has what he wants and comes set. Panduro out for his fourth inning of work. That one up the middle. It'll get out into the left field grass for a single. Here comes Bo Dallion. He's 0 for 1. Grounded out the last time he was at the plate. Bo, coming from Wichita, Kansas, played for Iowa Lakes Community College. Just finished his freshman campaign there. First pitch from Panduro. It's a fly ball down the right field side, running on it, and it will drop for a hit. So back-to-back singles has runners on first and second for the A's. So in steps Zach Mora. Mora, the shortstop today, doubled his last time up. Mora takes the first pitch. The inner half of the plate for strike number one, down in the count, 0-1. Zach Mora, 5'11", 175, played for Westmont in California. Finished his freshman season there. Comes from Moorpark, California. Paul Panduro still on the mound for the Pioneers as that one's fouled off. Has Mora down in the count, 0-2. A defensive change for the Pioneers that happened in the last inning. So in the third, Ethan Mooser and Francisco Laya switching. Laya now in left, Mooser now in right. The 0-2 delivery comes inside, and it's ball one. So Laya, Carpenter, and Mooser left to right in the outfield. Peterson, Hella, Barnes, and Young third to first across the infield for the Pios. Maroney behind the plate. As that one comes inside as well and evens a count at 2 apiece. 2-2 with one out, 2 runners on for the A's, trailing 7-6, 7-2 rather. 7 runs on 6 hits and 2 errors for the Pios. 2 runs, 4 hits, and an error for the A's. As that one low and inside and not going far enough to allow advancement, and the count runs full to Mora. Panduro takes the step off the mound, looks off to the east. So Cavalier Field faces south to north. The payoff pitch coming from Panduro. It is a line drive out into left field. It will be caught for out number 2. Runners not able to advance on that one, as that will bring in Nyan Hayes back at the top of the order for the A's. 1-0 the count to Nyan Hayes. He's 0 for 2, grounded out the last time he was up. That pitch is popped foul. It'll fall out of play, and that will even the count at 1 apiece. Decent crowd on hand here at Cavalier Field tonight. It's a 0-1 pitch, grounded in front of home plate, and that will move the runners up 90 feet. Two and one, the count. On Nyan Hayes. Hayes 0 for 2. Nyan from Arkansas State University, finished his junior campaign, comes from New Orleans, Louisiana. Quick mound visit as the A's back at the top of the order, starting their third trip through the batting order. Nyan Hayes comes into today's contest batting 100 on the season for the A's. We'll go back to work, 2 and 1 the count. Panduro takes a big stretch, comes set, pitch is fouled off, and the count evens itself at 2 apiece. Two pitch coming. The A's with both runners in scoring position and 2 away. That one swung on and missed. It'll be a drop strike 3. The throw to first, not in time, and that will score a run. So runners on the corners after the drop strike 3. Should have been a strikeout for Nyan Hayes, but with his speed, he beats it out, gets down to first. In steps Grant Weiserman. 2 on and 2 out. Runners on the corners, and the A's have scored 1. Now trail 7-3 is that pitch called strike on the inner edge to Weiserman. Grant played for Westmont in California. Comes from Marietta, California. Just finished his freshman year there. Pitch called strike again, and down in the count 0-2. Grant's batting .318 on the season for the Dodge City A's, hitting in the 2-hole tonight. Runner goes, and that doesn't really matter much as the count moves to 1-2. Nyan Hayes in. Be a stolen base, but argument could be made in the stat books for it to be defensive indifference. That one swung on and missed, and that will end the inning as he'll go down swinging, and it will be Hella, Barnes, and Carpenter due up for the Pios when we come back in the top of the 5th. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Garrett Martin taking over the mound for the Dodge City A's. The right-handed pitcher, left-handed pitcher, played at ASU Three Rivers his freshman season, comes from Greenbrier, Arkansas. Garrett Martin comes into tonight's contest with 7 innings pitched, allowing 11 runs with an ERA of 12.86. He has struck out 4, allowing 9 hits and walking 8. The stat line for Garrett Martin as he takes over for Matthew Chavez. He will face Ronan Hella, who is out. Hella 1 for 2 on the night, flew out his last time up. The Pioneers working their 3rd trip through the batting order. Martin working from the third base side of the rubber. The first pitch, little bit wild for ball number 1. We've worked our way into the top of the 5th. The A's trailing 7-3. The ball gets away from the Pioneers bullpen. So we'll go back to work. Count 1-0 on Hella. That one framed on the outer edge, and count evens itself at 1 apiece. One and 2 the count. Hella down in the count. The A's have held the Pioneers off the board the last 2 innings. You need to do it again as that one's hit foul up the third base side, and the count remains 1 and 2. So the A's and Pioneers here tonight will play again tomorrow night as that pitch swung on and missed. Hella goes down swinging. For out number 1. In steps E.J. Barnes. He walked on his last time up. Velasco and home plate umpire talking something over. We'll go to work. E.J. Barnes steps in 1 for 1. Nobody on and 1 away for the Pioneers. Martin comes set, delivers. It's on the inside edge for strike number 1. Lefty on the mound for the Dodge City A's. There's not a lot of lefties in the roster at all for your A's. That one missing high for ball 1 will even the count at 1 apiece. One and 1 the count. That one swung on and missed, and down in the count 1 and 2 is E.J. Barnes. Martin has his sign, doing a little bit of rocking, comes set, delivers, comes inside, and that evens a count at 2 apiece. 2-2 pitch. Makes contact and goes foul, and the count remains 2 and 2. A fly ball. It's headed out to Weiserman in third or left. It will be hauled down. Only takes a few steps to his left, and out number 2 collected for the Pioneers. In steps Coy Carpenter. Carpenter, the center fielder, he's 0 for 2, hit into a line drive his last time up. Martin kicks and fires. It's fouled off into the netting, and down in the count quickly is Carpenter. Called strike with that fastball on the outer edge. Down in the count, 0-2. Nobody on with 2 away for Carpenter. The 0-2 pitch misses outside for ball 1. Clouds starting to thicken to the north as well. That one comes in, bounces away from Velasco, and that will even the count at 2 apiece. Deuces wild, as they say, across the top of the scoreboard. Two delivery from Martin. A line drive bounces right in front of Miller for a single. The inning will continue. Back at the top of the order for the Pioneers is Kieran Gaffney. Gaffney, 1 for 2, struck out swinging his last time up. Runner goes on the 1-0 pitch. Carpenter in safely with a stolen base. Western Nebraska comes in today 4-2 overall in league play. They beat the BJs 7-2 on the 12th. That game, of course, being played in Gehring as that pitch misses outside. A 4-pitch walk to Gaffney. In steps Francisco Laya, 2 out and 2 on. Kieran Gaffney batting .214 on the season for the Pioneers. Francisco Laya steps in. He's 0 for 2, hit into a line drive his last time up. Takes first pitch for ball number 1. He's batting .375. Count 1-0. Carpenter at second. Gaffney at first. 2-0, the count to Laya. Quick mound visit to talk a few things over between Vassell, Martin, and Velasco, and it's over. We'll go back to work. Martin takes his stance, working way far to the third base side of the rubber. Pitch is popped foul, and Laya with a big swing on that one, and that will move the count to 2-1. So the A's and Pioneers in action today and tomorrow. They will take off for Denver on Sunday. They are set to play the Game Day Angels in Game 1 of the series there. Pitch is called strike on the inner edge, and that will even the count at 2 apiece. So while in Denver, the A's will play the Game Day Angels on Sunday, play the Denver Cougars on Monday, and finish the series as that pitch is grounded to the third baseman. They'll go to third for the force out. It'll be a 3U ground out, 3U fielder's choice actually, but that will end the inning. When we come back in the bottom of the fifth, it will be Murphy, Johnson, and Velasco due up. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. So the ketchup, hot dog, and mustard race set to take place here. They start on the first base side and will race around to the third base side. Hot dog and mustard with 2 wins apiece. Ketchup trails with just 1, and it is hot dog rounding home plate first. Mustard trying to catch up. It is a foot race to the end, and hot dog will win it for the third win. Hot dog leads the series 3-2 for mustard and 1 for ketchup. That is the hot dog, ketchup, and mustard race here at Cavalier Field. It will be done at every home game. We'll be back with the bottom of the fifth after this. You've been listening to A's Baseball. Set for the bottom of the fifth, the A's trailing 7-3. Nate Murphy he'll take the first pitch he sees for ball number 1. Rather, strike number 1, sorry. That pitch is up high for ball 1. Murphy swings through that one, and he'll be down in the count 1-2. Nate Murphy comes to Dodge by way of Bixby, Oklahoma, played for Northeast Oklahoma, finished his freshman campaign there. So that pitch is high and inside, and that will even the count at 2 apiece. Murphy gets a hold of that one, but it will go foul as it falls behind the clubhouse for the count to remain at 2 apiece. Pitch is driven back up the middle, and that will be a leadoff single.
Now at the plate, number 15, Carson Johnson.
Nate Murphy averaging 250 on the season so far for the Dodge City A's. In steps Carson Johnson. Johnson steps in batting 211. He walked on his last time up. Panduro still on the mound for the Pioneers. He has thrown about 75 pitches so far in this ballgame. 44 of those have been 4 strikes. 1-0 the count. Two and 0 the count to Carson. That one's in for ball 3. One's in for a strike. 3-1 the count. Carson will draw the walk, and that'll put runners on first and second with nobody out. In steps Velasco. Velasco's 0 for 2, grounded out the last time he was up. Isaiah Velasco batting 267 on the season for the Dodge City A's.
Isaiah Velasco.
Isaiah, the catcher tonight for the Dodge City A's, has worked hard at blocking balls and trying to keep pitches in front of him. That pitch swung on and missed. Swinging for the fences was Velasco. He's down in the count 0-1. There is a person warming up in the bullpen for the Pioneers. One and one the count. One delivery from Panduro, missing well outside, and the count moves to 2-1. Can't quite tell who's in the bullpen for the Pioneers. Two-one delivery. Panduro spins around. He'll fake the throw back to second to reset. Count remains 2-1. Swung on and missed does Velasco, and that will even the count at 1 apiece. The A's and Pioneers playing the first of their league series here tonight. The A's trailing 7-3. Pioneers have been held scoreless in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and that one lined right back. So after the double play where Nate Murphy was doubled off as he got caught out away from the base. Brings in Remington Miller. So Johnson on at first. And a 1-0 count to Remy. Remy's 0 for 2, grounded out the last time he was up. The 1-0 pitch from Panduro misses high for ball number 2. Remy batting .333 on the season for the A's. Fouls that one off. Count moves to 2-1. That pitch gets Remington to scoot back in the batter's box. 3-1. Panduro now approaching the 90 pitch mark. 3-1 delivery. Swung on. Coming up empty is Miller, and the count runs full. Panduro adjusting his hat. A humid night here at Cavalier Field. Payoff pitch coming from Panduro as he comes set. Runner goes, and it misses high, and that will put runners on first and second. Out of the dugout is the coach, and they make the call to the bullpen, so the night for Panduro is over, and he's pleading his case. Panduro wants to try to finish this inning, but the Pioneers calling to the bullpen. We'll tell you about the new pitcher when we come back. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Brooks Farrell takes over the mound for the Pioneers. He'll face Jake Vassell, who is 1 for 2 singled and comes up with strike number 1. Brooks, in his 4th appearance, has pitched 11 innings, allowing 8 hits, 3 runs, walking 3 and striking out 10, a 1-0 record, a 1.63 ERA. That pitch misses low and evens a count at 1 apiece. Jake Vassell, on the other hand, he is batting .250 on the season for the Dodge City A's. 1-1 pitch coming from Farrell, working from the first base side of the rubber, and that pitch missing out makes the count 2-1. A's trailing 7-3, scored 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the fourth. The Pioneers with 1 in the first and 6 in the second. 7-3, the current score. 7 runs, 7 hits for the Pioneers, 3 runs, 5 hits for the Dodge City A's, as that pitch is fouled off and the count remains count moves to 2-2. Two delivery coming as Farrell has what he wants. Comes set. Looks Johnson back to second. He'll step off the rubber. 2-2 pitch. It is a fly ball. It's headed out to right. Mooser there to haul that one down. It will end the inning. The A's strand 2. They trail 7-3 as we head to the top of the 6th. You've been listening to Dodge City A's baseball. Ethan Mooser leads off the sixth inning for the Pioneers. Takes first pitch he sees, sends it out to right field for out number one. Remington Miller there to haul that one down, and in steps Aiden Young. Young's 2 for 3. Struck out swinging his last time up. Takes a big swing at that one. He'll be down in the count 0-1. There were a few conversations happening between umpires, game officials, and coaches and players in between innings. Of course, one of those conversations definitely focused on the weather that will be moving in from the west. You can kind of see the darkening clouds in the top corner of the live stream. 2-1. The count to Young. Pitch is fouled back, and that will even the count at 2 apiece. Pitch misses low, and the count runs full. Payoff pitch coming from Garrett Martin. He's out. And that pitch is sent foul. Count remains full. A's on their third pitcher of the ball game. The Pioneers now on to their second. After Brooks Farrell came in relief of the starter Panduro in the last half inning, as that one's delivered low, and it will be a lead or a walk drawn by Aiden Young. In steps Bryce Peterson. He flew out his last time up. Worked our way into the top of the sixth inning. The A's trail 7-3. Pitch, called strike. Down in the count, 0-1. Delivery. It's a fly ball out into left field. Grant Weiserman there goes down to his knees, and he'll have it for out number 2. Young remains at first, and in steps the catcher Maroney. Maroney grounded out his last time up. One on and 2 out for the Pioneers. Pitch is called strike on the inner part of the plate. Down in the count, 0-1 Maroney. Ball 1 as Martin will take a step off. Uses the rosin bag, and he'll get ready to go here. One count. Called strike. Down in the count, 1-2 is Maroney. Martin has his sign come set. Delivers a little bit inside, gets Maroney scampering, and the count evens itself at 2 apiece. Two pitch coming from Martin. Misses inside and low for ball 3. The count runs full. Wind starting to pick up from the west. Wind is increasing quite a bit, actually, as the flag, you can see it a little bit. It's waving strong, moving from left to right across the field. High pop-up. It's going to move over towards foul territory. Carson Johnson ranging out into the outfield to gather that one in for out number 3. That will end the inning. We're headed to the bottom of the 6th. It will be 8, 9, and 1. Dalian, Mora, and Hayes due up when we return. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Down in the count, 0-2 is Bo Dalian. He's 1 for 2, singled his last time up as that one's chopped up the third base side, but foul. And the count remains 0-2. The 0-2 to Dalian, called strike on the lower part of the plate. Catching the zone enough to catch him looking, and one away for the A's. In steps Zach Mora. Mora's 1 for 2. Hit into a line drive his last time up. Mora batting 176 on the season. Dalian was batting 182 coming into tonight's contest. First pitch in, 2 more for ball number 1. That one a line drive. It'll be shot out into left field, and that will be a single. So a double and a single now in the ball game for Zach Mora. So we'll turn the lineup over for the A's to Nyan Hayes. Hayes is 0 for 3. A dropped strike 3. He got on base the last time he was up. Shows bunt. It goes up the third base side. Fielded by the pitcher. The throw to first. Not in time. And the speed of Hayes beats out another play. And now runners on first and second for the Dodge City A's. Moore at second. Hayes on at first. And in steps Grant Weiserman. Weiserman is 1 for 3. He went down swinging his last time up. We've worked our way into the bottom of the 6th inning. Winds howling out of the west. Pitch in to Weiserman for ball number 1. Weiserman's with 4 extra bases hits in this season. Is that one a high fly ball? It's headed out to right field, and it is gone. A high fly ball caught in the wind, and it will be a 3-run home run for your Dodge City A's as they are within 1. A 3-run shot has put your A's within 1 by Grant Weiserman. In steps Nate Murphy. That's the problem here. The wind howling out of the west, and that one got caught in the wind. It would have been in the park had it not been up and in the wind. But the wind pushed it to the shallower right field wall. In steps Nate Murphy. Murphy's 1 for 3. He singled his last time up. So add another extra bases hit for Grant Weiserman, and his 4th home run of the season. As that pitch hit foul, and it will go out of play, and Murphy down in the count 0-1. That pitch in, it will hit Murphy, and that will put a runner on for the A's. So no matter what, because the inning was started, it has to finish. Whether this game goes into a weather delay or the game in general goes into pause and is resumed then tomorrow. But either way, this inning has to finish. It would be a complete game should we finish the inning and then have to call the game, though. So the tying run on for the Dodge City A's. The go-ahead run now at the plate with 1 away. Pitch delivered to Johnson for ball number 1. Johnson's 0 for 1, has walked on the last 2 times he has been at the plate. Got on an error. He hit a ball deep into left field his first time up. That pitch Tossing inside again, 2-0, the count to Carson Johnson. That massive 3-run shot gave the A's some life, as now the tying run at first base, and Nate Murphy is in a pickle. He will be tagged out for out number 2. So now the tying run is at home plate. Two away and a 2-0 count to Johnson. The pitch misses for ball number 3. Pitch right down the middle. 3-1, the count to Johnson. Pitch is grounded right back up the middle, and that'll put another runner on with 2 out. The A's with 9 hits in this ball game. The Pioneers have 7. They trail 7-6 to the Pioneers. In steps the catcher Isaiah Velasco. He hit into a line drive right back at the third baseman his last time up. Winds have calmed a little bit, but still some weather approaching from the west as that pitch misses outside for ball number 1. Bottom of the 6th, the A's trailing 7-6. 1-0 delivery goes outside again, and the count moves to 2-0. Brooks Farrell struggling a little bit on the mound. I don't know if the wind might be throwing his pitching off or what it is, but that fly ball, it's headed out to center field. Coy Carpenter making an adjustment. He'll come down with it, and that will end the inning as the A's strand 1. They leave the tying run at first base, and we are headed to the top of the 7th. Ronan Hella at the plate for the Pioneers as we've worked our way into the top of the 7th, and a swing and a miss. Hella down 1-2. He is 1 for 3, went down swinging his last time up. Garrett Martin still on the mound for the Dodge City A's as that pitch will even the count at 2 apiece. Breaking ball left high, and the count runs full. The payoff pitch comes inside, and a leadoff walk drawn by Hella. In steps E.J. Barnes. He's 1 for 2, hit into a line drive his last time up. Martin, the lefty, on the mound for the A's. So we've worked our way into the top of the 7th. That pitch left high, and the count now 1-0. The Pioneers have been held scoreless since scoring their initial 7 runs. They've been held scoreless since the 3rd. That pitch high and foul will even the count at 1 apiece. One pitch coming from Martin. Swung on and missed. Barnes comes up empty on that one. He'll be down in the count 1-2. Miller playing deep and farther towards the foul line due to the wind howling out of the west here. 1-2. Grounded to the shortstop Mora. Go to second for 1. The throw to first. Not in time. So the fielder's choice gets the lead runner, but runner on at first for the Pioneers. Coy Carpenter steps in for the Pios, leading this one 7-6. He singled his last time up. Shows bunt. Velasco comes up, gets ready to throw down to first, but opts not to. A 1-0 count to Carpenter. Nyan Hayes playing shaded well to the right side of center. Normally plays about straight up, but he's probably 30 feet to the right of center field. 2-0 count. Three 3-0 the count now to Carpenter. The 3-0 pitch from Martin. Called strike off to the outer part. Count moves to 3-1. E.J. Barnes thrown back to first. A high fly ball. It's popped up. In comes Hayes. He'll have it for out number 2. So Barnes remains at first, and in steps Kieran Gaffney back at the top of the order as the Pioneers get set to start their 5th trip through the batting order. Gaffney, a single, hit by pitch, a strikeout, and a walk so far in the ball game. That pitch is inside and low for ball number 1. One-0 coming up from Martin. Grounded to the shortstop Mora. They'll go to second for the force out, and that will end the inning on the fielder's choice. It will be Miller, Vassell, and Dalian due up when we come back in the bottom of the 7th. It's stretch time in Dodge City. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Remington Miller leading off for the Dodge City A's as we've worked our way to the bottom of the 7th. Out to face Brooks Farrell, takes the first pitch for strike 1. Or walked on his last time up. The catcher Maroney blocking that one as it was down in the turf, and that will even the count at 1 apiece. Wind has calmed a little bit here in Dodge. That pitch missing on the inside makes it 2-1. Or chops that one foul, and the count evens itself at 2 apiece. A broken line of cells stretching from well north in northern Kansas, clear down to south of Dodge City. The main event still well out in western Kansas at this point. Pitch gets to the inside corner, but called a ball, and that will run the count full. Big payoff pitch coming here. Brooks Farrell working from the first base side of the rubber, has his sign and come set. The payoff pitch, grounded up the middle, gets past the shortstop Hella, and that will put a runner on, a leadoff single for Remington Miller. In steps Jake Vassell. He flew out his last time up. Vassell's 1 for 3 in the ball game. So the tying run now on base for the A's as we've worked our way into the bottom of the 7th inning. Vassell showing bunt, pulls back, the throw down to first. Not in time. A 1-0 pitch coming to Vassell. He'll show bunt again. It goes foul. Okay, I thought it sounded like I might have heard it hit, but it didn't. It was a ball. Miller in safely at second with a stolen base. So the tying run now 180 feet away. Jake Vassell, a 2-0 count. That one bounces. It'll get through. It's out into left field, and that will put runners on the corners. So the tying run 90 feet away. The go-ahead run now at first for your Dodge City A's. In steps a designated hitter, Bo Dallion. Dallion's 1 for 3. He got caught looking his last time up. And the A's are going to go with a pinch hitter, and it will be Tyler McAvoy. So the A's opting to pinch hit in the designated hitter spot tonight. Here comes Tyler McAvoy. Tyler, the catcher on the roster, played at Westmont, played his freshman season this year, comes from Fontana, California. So the first pitch he will see tonight. Grounded up the middle. They'll go to second for one. The throw to first in time, and the RBI double play ground out scores a run, and we're tied up at 7. So nobody on and 2 out. In steps Zach Mora. Tie ball game. Mora fouls the first pitch he sees. The Pioneers took an early lead, 7-1 in the second inning. The A's would answer back. It would be 7-2. The A's scored another in the 4th, and then 3 in the 6th, and now 1 in the 7th to tie this one at 7 apiece. That pitch called strike on the inner edge, and down in the count, 0-2 is Mora. Mora's 2 for 3. He singled his last time up. That pitch, high and tight, moves the count to 1-2. One-two delivery. On the outside edge, Mora pleading his case, says that's not a strike, but much to the chagrin of Mora, that is called strike 3, and that will end the inning. We're headed to the top of the 8th. That is 7-7. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Back at Cavalier Field, we've worked our way into the top of the 8th inning. It is a 7-7 ball game. It's Francisco Laya set to face Garrett Morton. He takes the first pitch he sees. It is ball 1. Pitch is called strike. And the Pioneers will have a pinch hitter coming up. Pitch is blocked by Velasco. The count 2-1. Martin working quickly on the mound. That pitch is fouled off. It'll go out of play. Count even at 2. Laya fouls that one back. The count stays at 2. Laya swung on. It's headed out to center field. Nyan Hayes hauls that one down. There's a wind. It started towards left center and ended up in right center. Hauled down by Hayes. One away for the Pioneers. Last check of a score around the league. The Liberal BJs leading the Fort Collins Foxes 8-4. That was in the middle of the 7th. So in steps Jackson Yeager. He will take over for Mooser. Pitch is in for strike number 1 to Yeager. Yeager pops that one up. It is going foul. It will fall out of play, and Yeager's down in the count 0-2. Yeager swings through that one. He'll be tagged out as he'll go down swinging. It'll be a drop strike 3. Tag applied by Isaiah Velasco. 2 away for the Pioneers. In steps Aiden Young. Young is 2 for 3 in this ball game. He walked on his last time up. Work down in the Pioneers bullpen. First pitch to Young, fouled off on the third base side, and he'll be down 0-1. Aiden Young singled the first 2 at-bats he had and then struck out and walked. Pitch is fouled to the first base side now, and down in the count quickly, 0-2 is Young. Yays have tied this one up. 7 hits on 11 runs, or 7 runs on 11 hits, 1 error. 7 runs, 7 hits, and 2 errors for the Pioneers. Pitch is fouled off, it was low for ball 1. 1-2. Blocked again by Velasco, and the count evens itself at 2 apiece. Two-two pitch. Martin fires, and it's high for ball 3. Martin's thrown about 72 pitches coming in relief. The third pitcher that the A's have used, 40 of those have been in 4 strikes. The payoff pitch inside, and that will be a walk. 1 on for the Pioneers with 2 away. In steps Bryce Peterson. He's 1 for 3 in the ball game. Peterson flew out to left field his last time up. The A's and Pioneers is at fly ball. It's headed right for Remington Miller in right field, and that will end the inning. We're headed to the bottom of the 8th. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Ryan Hayes set to lead off. The bottom of the 8th as the A's are tied 7-7 with the Pioneers. First pitch in to Hayes, who is 1 for 4. A bunt single got him on his last time up. That one's chopped to the shortstop Hella, throw to first in time, and the speed of Hayes not able to beat that one out. Out number 1. And in steps Grant Weiserman. Weiserman's 2 for 4, has hit 2, count them folks, 2 home runs in this ball game. One of them was the 3-run shot that got the A's within 1, and the last one tied it up. First pitch to Weiserman in for strike number 1. That pitch is going to be fouled off. It will go out of play to our right, and Weiserman down in the count 0-2. A's and Pioneers in action tonight. We've worked our way into the bottom of the 8th, a 7-7 ball game. Be back here tomorrow night at Cavalier Field before the A's take on their first major road trip. 3 games in Colorado coming up Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Weiserman will swing and miss and go down on strikes, 2 away for the A's. As Brooks Farrell still working on the mound for the Pioneers. In steps Nate Murphy. He is 1 for 3. He was hit by pitch his last time up. Murphy takes that one. It's grounded out into left field, and the go-ahead run is now on base for the Dodge City A's. In steps Carson Johnson. Johnson's 1 for 2. Singled his last time up. So the A's will look for whatever way they can to try to move Nate Murphy around. First pitch in to Johnson, misses inside for ball 1. Of course, Murphy standing out at first, trying to time up Farrell, looking for an opportunity to run. The 1-0 pitch inside and almost wears it, does Johnson, but he's up in the count 2-0. Johnson can afford to take a couple of pitches here as it's 2-0. Murphy on at first for the A's. Pitch left a little bit high, 3-0. Coy Carpenter, the right fielder center fielder for the Pioneers, not playing as far right as Nyan Hayes does. Pitch inside, it will be a 4-pitch walk, and that will put runners on first and second. The go-ahead run now just 180 feet away for the Dodge City A's. Farrell has thrown about 48 pitches in relief for the Pioneers. 27 of those have been in 4 strikes. The let's go sign being flashed down to the Pioneers bullpen as Isaiah Velasco steps in. Velasco's 0 for 4. He flew out to center field his last time up. First pitch taken outside for ball 1. Check swing. They appeal down. Says nope, he does not go. The A's in business with 2 out, 2 on, and Velasco at the plate. Pitch outside again, and the count moves to 2-0. 2-0 pitch from Farrell. Has his right foot on the rubber, working from the first base side. Throws in. Swung on. Coming up empty is Velasco. Count moves to 2-1. Two-one delivery from Farrell. Swung on and misses again, and evens the count at 2 apiece. This is wild across the top of the scoreboard. Pioneers have been held scoreless since the 3rd. They have stranded 10 runners so far in this ball game. Velasco sends that one out into center field. Here comes Nate Murphy, the throw home. It's high, and scoring easily does Murphy. And Velasco will advance to second. It'll be a single. Velasco advancing on the throw. So in steps Remington Miller, and the A's take the lead after falling behind 7-1 at one point in this ball game. Miller steps in. He is 1 for 3. Singled his last time up. Ball 1 delivered outside to Remington. Remington grounds that one back to the pitcher. He'll throw to first, and that will complete the out. That will end the inning, but the A's lead 8-7, and the Pioneers down to their final 3 outs to try to extend this ball game now after the A's trailed from the get-go. We'll be back with the top of the 9th. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Pioneers have been held scoreless since the 3rd. A 2-0 count now to Jake Maroney, the catcher for the Pioneers. He is 0 for 3, flew out his last time up. Garrett Martin still on the mound for the Dodge City A's. That pitch missing, and the count moves to 3-0. There is work in the bullpen for the Dodge City A's. Marcelo Casillas, it looks like, in the bullpen for the A's. Will go back to work after a short mound visit. 3-0 count to Jake Maroney. The 3-0 well outside into the opposite batter's box. A 4-pitch walk puts the catcher on, and it will be a courtesy runner for Maroney. Carson Bevel, the runner for the Pioneers. In steps Ronan Hello, 1 on and nobody out. The A's have held the Pioneers scoreless for 8 innings, or rather 7, sorry. 7 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors. The Pioneers have strained to 10. 8 runs, 13 hits, 1 error. The A's have also stranded 10. Swung on and missed. Does Hella down in the count 0-1. Hella's 1 for 3. He walked on his last time up. The A's looking for their second win in Rocky Mountain League play, as that's a high fly ball. Remington Miller tracking it out in right field, and he'll be there for out number 1. One away with one on, and in steps E.J. Barnes. Barnes is 1 for 3, hit into a fielder's choice his last time up. The A's, with their first lead of this ball game, took it in the bottom of the 8th. The A's 1 run in the 1st, 2nd, 4th, 7th, and 8th, and 3 runs in the 6th. That throw over to first to check on Bevel. Pitch in for strike number 1 to Barnes. The A's, with a win tonight, would improve to 3-5 overall. That pitch in, it will hit Barnes on the helmet. The coaches are going to walk Barnes down to first. He took a long look back at Martin after he was plunked in the helmet, but nonetheless, we'll go to work. 1 out and 2 on. Cole Weiland, pinch hitting now for the Pioneers. He is on the roster as a pitcher. Played for Whitworth University, a freshman. So we will go to work. 1 out, 2 on for the Pioneers. We're in the top of the 9th. The Pioneers down to their final 2 outs. That pitch in for strike number 1. A's lead 8-7. Their first lead of the ball game. A beautiful front door bender has Weiland down in the count 0-2. Garrett Martin looks in, has his sign come set, looks back at second. Weiland with the ground ball to third, out there, the throw to first. In time, the twin killing ends the inning and ends the ball game. The A's take it 8-7 as they knock off the Pioneers. We'll be back after this. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Your Dodge City A's improved to 3-5 overall, 2-3 in Rocky Mountain League play. So after beating the Hazelarks on Tuesday, they take down the Western Nebraska Pioneers in Game 1 of the series here tonight. They will play the Pioneers again tomorrow night, 7 p.m. first pitch right here at Cavalier Field. Taking a look at the wrap-up from today, Brooks Farrell will take the loss for the Pioneers. Garen Martin picking up the win for your Dodge City A's. The A's would fall behind 7-2 after the first 2 innings and would trail up until a 3-run home run by Grant Weiserman would put the A's within 1 at 7-6 after 6 complete. So as we look at the scorebook for your Dodge City A's, 2 home runs by Grant Weiserman propels the offense tonight for the A's, as a solo shot in the first to get the A's started scoring, and then the 3-run home run in the 6th for Grant. Remington Miller would lead off in the 7th and would come around to score. That would put the A's within 1, and it would be the 8th inning that would find after 9, Hayes would lead off with a ground out, a strikeout, would have the A's with nobody on and 2 outs. Nate Murphy steps in. He singles through the left side gap, a walk by Carson Johnson and a single by Isaiah Velasco that will drive Nate Murphy in. That gives the A's the 8-7 win. So that is the story of the ball game, as the A's win it 8-7 with 13 hits over the Western Nebraska Pioneers. I am Justin Hergert, was alongside Cole Erhorn, operating the live stream tonight, saying thank you and farewell for the entire A's board and organization. We wish you farewell and good night from Cavalier Field. The A's victorious will host the Nebraska Pioneers tomorrow night, 7 p.m. right here at Cavalier Field. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball.